I just talking about that and looking back, I have a question for you that's pretty broad. Now that we think back when we were in season 1 and really experiencing it, we saw these naked giant things panicking and running and killing people, right? We had them eating people, but when they did eat people, they threw them up in cat hair balls. They lack reproductive organs, as we learned in episode 5 of season 1.
We tried so hard to figure out how more Titans were created. We're like, if they don't have reproductive organs, then how do more get created?
Well, okay, no. So we have all that information, right? We also have the information that originally only one person had the power of the Titans, and then it was passed down to more people, and then those people had offspring, and it went down. All that information noted. What is it? What is the thing that the Devil of All Earth gave to Ymir Fritz? Because
it definitely wasn't an apple or fruit, whatever it looks like in the pictures. Or was it an apple for the religious kind of symbolism?
Is it did she give Ymir Fritz godly power that was then diluted and turned into something that is kind of like a curse, or was it a curse from the beginning? Because when I'm thinking of how the first 3 seasons had very clearly set up Titans as the enemy, and how I felt about Titans as an enemy, it's flipping the fact that all these Titans are actually people. But if the people who are so feared being the Eldians, they're all powerful, it's kind of a frightening existence to think, oh my god, if this one fluid gets into my body, then I turn into this creature that doesn't have reproductive organs and can never do anything
or
again.
Think.
Yeah,
or
it
really
sounds pretty
yourself.
torturous. I know that wasn't what was originally given, but that's what it is now.
The poor Eldians in general, because not only does Marley have the ability to use this as a consequence for them, the top Eldian, the founding Titan, and even the Beast Titan have the ability also to do this to them without their approval. And this non-consensual on both ends, on both parties being able to do something kind of perverse and horrible and almost torturous to people that we don't believe can even be reversed unless you eat someone who has a founding Titan power.
Which there's only so many of.
I'm like, this is cruel and gross, and you have one side that's exploiting the power that another side holds, but both of them have the power to do something really, really perverse and horrible and torturous to their own people.
Well, the power to what is the power?
What even is it?
What did Ymir get?
A giant baby?
What
is this power?
Flat out, what did Ymir get? Because at that moment, it's no control over anything else. Because there's nothing else to control. There's no Eldians to control at that point. So what does Ymir get?
What was the original power? Because obviously whatever stemmed from it, these other Titans we have are definitely not... There might be reiterations of some of the power that she had.
It's a causation of the power. But the power that was given to her from...
Or an evolution of it.
Yeah. From everything I can tell, the power must have just been to you yourself turn into a Titan. That's it. That's all I can think it being. Because what else would it be?
You're so right on. Ymir Fritz had this new ability to control. She couldn't have... I mean, if we're thinking about the timeline of consciousness, I guess you could say that she would be connected. Because I was like, oh, how could she have turned Eldians if they were before she got this power, Eldians? Well, if we're talking about a circle of consciousness, a circle of connection, then Ymir Fritz is related to, can control anyone of this ancestral kind of cycle of everyone being related through Eldia. And was Eldia even a thing before Ymir Fritz? I'm sure she had family, so anyone that was related to her, and then that just the cycle. Does it dilute if you have people that maybe marry outside of Eldian.
Well, that's what happened, right?
Would it dilute? But it didn't dilute with Reiner. It seemed like he could use the Armored Titan very well, and he was half Marleyan.
Well, diluting's a good point, because technically it is, technically the second that Ymir Fritz gave Titans to, how many other people?
9. There were 9 Titans after she was gone.
After Ymir after Ymir's power was divvied up into 9 Titans, I'm in my head thinking that is diluting it. Like, it's already been diluted at that point. And what
are they getting less and less strong? I mean, I know how they were talking about how this current Beast Titan is the Wonder Boy, is the most strong of the Beast Titans, and no duh, it's royal blood that they don't know about. But are the Titans inherently getting weaker and weaker and weaker? It's a good question.
Well, obviously we know nobody can use the extent of their power unless they're from that royal bloodline.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so yes, that question is answered, but like, it's the original power that I have a lot of questions with, because like, we got the name, in 3x21, we got the name of it as the Curse of Ymir, the fact that you only live for 13 years after you get it. Who the fuck picked 13? Isn't
that like one of Taylor Swift's numbers? I'm pretty sure that's one of Taylor Swift's
numbers. I should know
numbers.
this. But I don't know. I feel like there are a lot of answers there. I don't know if they're like it's an answer that's going to fill in a bunch of holes that we have or anything, but I think it's an interesting question.
13 should be significant.
It should be.
Is it significant in order to stop the curse? Is something 13 is maybe 13 steps down the tree, like the 13th person to inherit this Titan is the one that is going to, maybe that's what one of the, like, a lore could be. The 13th person to inherit this power is the one that is going to stop the cycle.
Maybe. But the 13-year thing's weird.
It's such a specific number.
I'm going through, like, just loosely to see if I see, like, the number 13 just, like, popped up anywhere.
I don't think that I've...
Because it is a very, very specific number. Interesting, though. Not that I found 13, but just if we wanted to, like, reminisce for a second. Petra had 10 kills, 48 assists. Eldo had 14 kills, 32 assists. Olvo, there you go. Olvo had 39 kills, 9 assists. That was good. And Gunther had 7 kills, 40 assists, all in their own people.
You wrote that down. It was going to be so important. It was vital information.
That's one thing that's happened a lot.
We really did think that these characters were going to be with us for a really long time.
I tend to write things down that never come into play again.
Like, ooh, yes. These people are going to be really pivotal to the story. Very important.
Yeah.
I need to know how many kills they got.
But, I don't know. I guess... bring it back to the episode at hand. I think that I don't know how we see Ymir Fritz get the Titan power, because we're gonna see it in my mind. Like, I think that it's inevitable that we get to see the truth, maybe. And if we do, it has to be through somebody's eyes who was there or remembers it. And if it's somebody who remembers it, it has to be somebody with the founding Titan powers. And maybe other ones. I don't know. I don't even know, man. I don't know. Do you have any ideas? What's going on?
No. I mean, these questions are getting to a point where they are totally out of our grasp, and we don't even really have evidence to support whatever theory we could come up with of what would be the truth to those questions.
Yeah. I do think it was interesting that the death of the Devil of All Earth coincided with the memories being altered and then leaving to Paradis. What do you think that's about? Because it happened a century ago that the Devil of All Earth was slayed by what's his name? Helos, and it just so happened that 100 years ago that also happened.
Maybe that was a step toward atonement. Maybe that's what, I'll go slay this Devil of All Earth, so this never happens again, as my way to atone for what my people have done. And of course that would be at a time where people were being passive to wanting to continue fighting Marley, and we already said at the beginning of this second half of the discussion that obviously the king and Helos the Tibers were in similar boats of not wanting to continue the war and or being sorry for what they had done.
You think the power changed once the Devil of All Earth died?
Well, that's the thing. We don't know exactly what could have been done to it after that.
Yeah, like, did it turn into some real curse?
Did it actually become a curse after that?
I don't know.
Was there never the 13-year aspect of it?
Good question. I did write down in my notes about this episode, fuck you, AOT, for the music. And that was, I think, in regards to the scene where Gabby had finally been beaten by Falco. And, like, everybody's realizing it. There's, like, really upbeat, like, acoustic guitar, some flutes, some bass.
It's very festival-like, which is going to fit with later in the episode.
They're talking to the guards, like, joking around with them. And then Falco, like, confesses his love.
Basically confesses, yes. It's a very lighthearted feeling. To even have the guards who... Obviously, we know should not be entirely nice to Eldians in general, but they almost act like these future honorary Eldians are separate.
Yeah.
From this. They're very playful with them. They're like, oh yeah, we know you've had a crush on her. Like, they're aware of these children. Like, they've truly actually let themselves know these children and not just thought of them as filth.
Yeah, which is interesting to see. What, I guess, do you think the plan, the Tiber plan is going forward? What do you think that tomorrow entails, or the festival entails?
I gotta say that first off, that I liked Commander Magath. I think he's a commander. In the first episode, he wasn't the one saying the really gross, annoying things. It was the, like, chubby guy behind him that was, like, piping up behind him, being like, you're an Eldian scum, don't talk like that to him, or whatever.
Yeah.
And he was always just very cut and dry, like he knew the facts of this world.
Yeah.
And it wasn't necessarily, his emotion was in it, like, he believed those facts. It was more just, these are the facts of the world we live in. You are an Eldian and this is how we treat Eldians. It wasn't driven by his own, like, it didn't seem like he had his own bias or emotional hatred when he was saying these things. It just sounded like he is just talking like he's lived in this world and he understands how this society works.
Yeah.
And that's why I was really happy here to see him kind of almost have some motive to change what their world is like.
Yeah.
And we don't necessarily know exactly what that motive is other than not having war anymore.
Yeah.
And he has respect. He says that the military will follow the leader of the nation. And to him, he's basically saying, you are the leader. I think of you as the leader.
Yeah.
He's not saying that. He's saying it more like inconspicuously, but that's basically what he's saying, is that I will follow your lead.
Yeah. I wonder, I think something's wrong with him. Not General, how do you pronounce his name? I don't want to get it wrong. The General?
Magath?
Magath. I like General Magath a bit because, like, he's very, like, I don't think there's anything more to him. But
he seems just matter of fact to me.
yes, and I kind of like that.
Yeah.
Tiber, I feel like something is going on with him in regards to Titan power or some big power. Maybe it is the Warhammer thing. But, like, I'm reading along the lines between Magath and him in the courtyard, and Magath is pointing out that the military serves the nation, and this nation's supreme commander is you, to the Tiber family, right? But then, if you'll read with me the next lines, it turns a little bit. That's not quite true, in reference to who holds the power, right? Who has the power right now, because to Magath, it's all Mr. Tiber here. But he's saying that isn't true. I'm simply the one who holds the wheel. So he's not saying that he wields the power and has absolute power. He's just kind of the face at the moment, right? Am I understanding that correctly?
Yes. I feel like when I hear the phrase, I'm simply the one that holds the wheel, it connects to the fact that he's just a user of this power that is bigger than himself.
But if you read the next line too, and then the next two lines, so it says, that's not quite true. I'm simply the one who holds the wheel. Now I know why my predecessors never tried to grab it. And then look at him here. It's so heavy. And then say his name again.
Magath.
Magath is like giving him the side eye, and he says, I wish I could let go at this very moment, but a time has come where I must not. It just happened to me.
It happened to be me.
Is that what
it happens to be him. That he is the one that needed to grab it.
Yeah, it just happened to be me. I'm simply the man this responsibility fell upon.
Fits and with then, maybe a possible fated story
correct.
Of a time that something was going to be happening.
Magath then continues to go about his business, but look at Tiber. He's like shaking. And I'm like, what's that connected to? Is it like a Tiber curse? Is it like a Tiber memory that's been passed on and faded? Or is it something that's like the mainstream of memories?
I mean, it also just could be the reality of he's going to be acting. That the Tiber family always just sat on a pedestal and never acted and were treated well. And maybe he's just going to be the one that has to act again, like his original ancestor that wielded the Warhammer that got the Tibers the respect that they have now.
Okay.
It could just be a fear of being the one that has to put themselves out there and maybe even risk their own life.
I don't think he has the power because if he does, I don't know.
I think he does.
If he does, then he only has so many years left, and that's the wheel that he's talking about.
I wrote down, why is he making this speech now? And why was he so kind of, the way that he spoke about, I just needed to see Helos now. It's almost like a man preparing for his own, like, last year. His time is coming to an end.
Or someone who is being told and instructed to do something. Whether that is from, like, a Titan thing, memory, and he does have it, or the character who's underground right now. We saw Eren sending out letters. We don't know what the fuck he's been up to the past 4 years. What if he is somehow controlling things behind the scenes and he... Okay, this is my...
It would take a while for them to explain that to me.
This is the biggest question. Is Eren here because the parade's happening and the Tiber speech is happening? Or is the Tiber speech happening and the festival happening because Eren's here? This does not happen often.
It is odd to have all of these things coexisting at the same time.
Wow.
Unless there is a faded lore that is passed down within the Founding Titan that the Warhammer Titan Tiber original family also keeps a secret and passes down. That there is a time that will be coming, that Yuri saw, basically, that something was coming to a head.
It's like, if this was just this dude alone, fine. But the fact that Eren's here too, it's one or the other to me. Eren's here because the festival's going on, or Eren arranged the festival. I love just imagining Eren party planning and like arranging vendors and face painters. But oh my god, that's a whole side arc I need. But there's a plan here. Like, Eren's obviously been sending letters. He's completely infiltrated. He's seen his grandfather-ish and visited him in a mental asylum. Mm-hmm. Like what's happening from Eren's perspective next episode?
How would the letters get to... I'm hearing this theory and stuff, and so I'm just gonna ask one question that would poke at the possible an issue that might be there. So when Eren was mailing the letters, he obviously had some inconspicuous place that he was mailing it to, where it wouldn't seem odd to Falco that he was mailing it to this person or to this place. But if the Tiber is such a family that is so prestigious and so, I don't know, maybe even heavily secured, it would probably be hard for Tiber to obtain letters from Eren inconspicuously. Unless under a fake name or in a fake location that wasn't his own house.
We still have restorationists who I presume exist.
Yes. I'm sure they still exist.
Think they could help if Eren has found them. That being said, we also have Titan powers on our side and don't know what we've done in the meantime. We have Levi, right. We have Mikasa. I know we haven't been here before, but it's been 4 years. We could have snuck in and made a power play. Eren could have... Eren's here while Mikasa, Armin, and Levi and Hanji, or more so Levi and Hanji, are practicing their torturing skills on one of the Tiber family members forcing this guy to do this, you know? Like, we don't know what the fuck's going on from Aaron's perspective.
Could someone that with the is someone, the founding titan coming here, really something that the Tibers would be afraid of? Because could the founding titan truly hold power over the Warhammer Titan, which would then cause it to be an issue for the Tiber family of they wouldn't be able to stand up, whether they wanted to or not, against the founding titan.
Yeah. I think that, like, we have to... I think the one thing that I might be most confident ever saying in this entire series is that Eren is here for something.
Yes.
Right?
Which we haven't gotten to what we... I mean, at the end, we haven't gotten to what we think that ending of last episode.
One of my...
why he's there, why he wants to have this conversation.
One of my stupid thoughts that I've already disproven was that somebody that he loves is about to die, whether that's Mikasa or Levi or Historia, and he tried to come bargain with like Reiner to like give me the power to save this person. That's not happening. Okay. It's disproven. It's gone. He's been here too long being all fucky and sussy, you know, the Eren Yeager way.
But also, I doubt Eren would ever think that he could convince, unless it was Historia. Unless it was Historia. I think that's the only person that anyone would entertain. Oh, maybe Reiner will let Historia eat him.
Yeah, but which I thought was like a fun, it's a fun, silly thought, you know, that isn't too serious.
Be a little
but
silly Billy.
You have to think about everything when Eren's being all fucky, wucky, sussy with the Mr. Kruger shit. Like he's like it's weird. But what's going on with him right now. So I think that the fact that something is going on with him and he has a plan has to be addressed. And since it isn't anything else I can figure out, I'm like, well, he plans to do something right now, kill everybody above ground, but he didn't want Reiner to be there for some reason. Or he's either trying to save Reiner, give him a chance. He's either done the math so he knows Reiner only has so long to live, so he's trying to get the power before he dies. Maybe that's why they're here now, because they're like, okay, well, we only know that the powers within Reiner and Zeke, but that isn't going to be the case past this amount of years, you know? Let's go now. I don't know.
I mean, like, Reiner is basically the only current Titan that Eren could possibly reach out to switch sides or to not fight or to ask to not fight. They have a history, and honestly, that's one of maybe like 3 ideas of what Eren would want to have to do with Reiner here in this having Falco bring Reiner to him conversation. There's only a few things it could be.
Yeah.
And like why he would do that.
I don't know. I imagine that Falco's somehow going to end up with Reiner's power. I just don't know how it's going to come to be. Like, if that's I don't know. But onto the scene, I guess, where Kruger was talking to Yeager, right? Mm-hmm. Talking about how Falco's uncle was a leader of the Restorationists, which is very interesting, right? Is that saying that Falco and Eren are somehow related?
Wasn't the guy that brought Grisha into the Restorationists, wasn't he blonde? Yes. Not that that means anything, but I wouldn't put it past to that be like that person being actually I think someone referenced in the story. To just a little like fun fact, a little nugget, like how when we get Ilse's notebook and we get Ymir, we also get a Titan that resembles the woman that was that basically was pushed off the wall with Ymir. Yeah. And I could see that nugget of his uncle was a leader of the Eldian Restorationists. Well, I could see the person bringing, or it couldn't be Kruger, no. But I could see it possibly being the person that literally brought Grisha into the thrall of it.
I'm trying to see if I wrote down anything like from episode 20, if we got like any names from...
We might have gotten his first name. Yeah. I don't know if we got... And I remember him being like, I shouldn't have brought you. I shouldn't have brought you to the Restorationists. Like, it only happened because of you.
But I think that would be an interesting connection, unless we're missing something that's more obvious or something not there at all. Restorationists are sent to paradise or paradis and not you. Have we been? Is it paradise or is it just what he's saying because that's what they've turned it into?
So yes, it's called paradis, but they call it the paradise of the Eldians as like almost their own. They think they're funny.
To protect their family, he and his brother trained to be warriors, and when his brother was chosen to. Okay, so do you think that they were found guilty as members of the family and then given like an option that because like part of me is like
for the family because they were children?
Yeah, but like part of me is like, okay, wouldn't you want like the quote unquote best of the best, most trustworthy people to be the ones to inherit the Titans? So like I'm wondering
think
if
want the scared people to you killed these children's families and you left them alive. And so now you have this power over them of we killed your family.
Yeah.
We turned them into Titans and pushed them off a wall. And you're now going to raise these children in the ideal that you wish them to be in.
I think that is the more likely option. I thought the other option would have been that, our uncle was just found out. To play it safe, let's go like dive head into patriotism and try to like...
Wait, he does say to save their family. How do they choose just a handful of candidates? Is there like a written test? Is it like their grades or their athletic ability, and then like the top 6 kids are chosen to become candidates? Like, how does it actually happen?
I don't know.
He obviously had some inconspicuous place that he was mailing it to. He obviously had some inconspicuous place that he was mailing it to. He obviously had some inconspicuous place.
He obviously had some inconspicuous place